Hello everybody. Thought I'd do a quick update video, kind of show you around the garden, a few things that we've accomplished in the worst summer I think I've ever tried to garden. We finally, I think, broke the heat. We've had some nice weather the last week or so. This morning, as I'm sitting out here this morning, it's like 60 degrees and it's just awesome. But here in front of us is some watermelons I planted in this bucket here a while back. They struggled for a while with the heat, but kept watering them, and with the cooler weather we've had, they've really, you can see they've started to trail out on the ground there. There's several watermelons down in there, probably about the size of a, I don't know, baseball right now, I guess. We'll see what happens. You know, with the cooler weather coming on, I'm not sure if they'll end up doing anything or not, but we'll see. Here's the other watermelon bucket that we planted. It's doing okay as well. It's got quite a bit of vine kind of going over and all, and like I say, I'm not sure what it'll end up doing with the cooler weather coming on. Our yellow squash has done real well. We picked quite a few off here. The plants haven't gotten real big, but it's producing squash, so I'm not gonna argue with that. And here's another one of my yellow squash plants. Both these varieties I just showed you are multi-pick. It's a hybrid squash. And then here's another variety. This is a open pollinated squash. It's done well for us as well. Here's some butternut squash that we planted. This really struggled quite a bit when we planted it. It's trying to come up in that heat and just struggled a lot. Just started to kind of do a little bit better with this cooler weather. We'll see how it does. You kind of notice there's some dirt and stuff up on the plants and the fruit there, but we actually had a rain the other night. I don't know if you can tell in the rain gauge there, but we actually got an inch, well, about a half inch of rain the other night. That's the first measurable rain we've gotten since May the 22nd. It's really been dry, and that rain sure greened some things up. Finally got some cabbage up. If y'all remember a video I did a while back, I planted cabbage back on August the 1st, and nothing germinated. The seed just burned up in the ground, so I waited, come back in here, redid the bed here, and planted on September 1st, and got pretty good germination. I'd probably say 70% germination out of a row. I've got about a 35-40 foot row of cabbage. Don't know if I'm gonna have time now to let this develop and ripen and all, but we usually have pretty mild winters here. After the summer though, I can tell you I'm not going to take anything for granted. Here's some spinach that's coming up. I planted a couple of short rows of spinach. It does pretty good here in the fall. This is some kale that I've got planted here. This is my first year to plant kale. I took a recommendation of one of my buddies here in Whitesboro that grows it every year. Says it does real well for him, and we actually went to the store and bought some kale and cooked it just to see if we would like it, and it wasn't bad. We're gonna try to grow some and see what that's like. My pepper plants here pretty much shut down when that heat set in. Produced what it did produce was just little bitty tiny peppers. But they're full of blooms now, and hopefully we'll get that last harvest of peppers off of them this fall. Historically, I really have better luck with peppers in the fall than I actually do in the summer, but we'll see what happens. And I do have soaker hoses on them, so we've been able to keep them watered and all. Some of those plants down there are 4.5 feet tall, I guess, almost 5 feet. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll show y'all a big harvest of these not too long from now. The sweet potato bed is still doing really well, growing strong. Probably going to try to maybe do a test dig, see how they're doing, see if they're ready to harvest. here pretty quick. The tomatoes that I cut back have done okay. I mean, they've grown new growth out of the suckers of the plant, and actually putting off some blooms. Not sure if these are going to produce for me, but the plants are pretty. Probably half of the tomatoes that I cut back came back. Some of them just didn't make it through that drought. But we'll see here pretty soon if we get some tomatoes off this before our first frost in November. Here's about a 25-foot test row I did of some black-eyed peas that I had harvested and saved the seeds on. See how they do, and germination was wonderful on them. I did this last year, and we're actually picking black-eyed peas and eating them in November. Doesn't happen every year, but hopefully this year is one of those years we get to do that. Nothing else, I'll be tilling this in and improving the soil here with these plants. So first 4 rows here are Contender green beans that I planted back on August 1st. I think it was August 1st. And they've done real well. Pretty slow coming up, but they've done well here lately, and actually got quite a few blooms on them. And then over to the side there, I've got a couple of rows of Contenders and a couple of rows of Roma 2 green beans that I planted that we got pretty good germination out of, but we'll see how they do and if I've got enough time to get a harvest off of them before frost. Like I say, last year was totally different than this year, summer-wise, so I don't know if the fall will be like that, but last year we had fresh green beans at Thanksgiving, and well, that was really nice, and hopefully we'll be able to pick quite a few off these. The green beans on the other side of the garden are doing well as can be expected, and doing okay. I just hope this weather stays like it is, and we kind of catch a break and actually have some good gardening weather. And here's the first of my little sweet peas that are coming up. I've got a couple of rows of these and got some structures built over them that they'll grow up. Kind of looking forward to having some fresh peas as well this winter time. Anyways, hopefully next video or so I'll be able to show you some harvests that we're making and some progress. It's been a tough summer. I know it has been here and a lot of other places, but we learn a lot, and I've learned a lot watching y'all's videos. Hopefully y'all learn a little bit from mine. But y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all later.